basically you touched upon something very important. I thought that you were saying that people are discouraged because they don't see progress right away. And this really speaks to me, that because what's usually in the learning manuals as well, and it's a crazy fact, by the way, that I've seen so many different papers and research saying that people who want to learn languages, still 90% or more, based in different markets, are choosing to buy a learning manual as the first option. By the way, it's the same thing basically as, if you have a selection between a car, a Volvo, or a horse, you will take, you're in a store and you're like, what is that there? Like, this seems so much slower, and it's 100 years old, I will take that. So it's like such an irrational choice, but 90% of people still do it. So it's relevant to talk about it, of why they are doing this. Obviously, it's some kind of inertia, right, based on what has worked before. MacGyver has always had a mullet, so let's all have mullets, right? It's weird, but at the same time, that's the main reason why people don't feel the progress that in the language at first, right? Because they are just overthrown with grammar, for example. And that's one of the things that I usually say as a tip, as a polyglot tip, or to be successful. And I don't know if you agree with this, is that you just avoiding grammar in the beginning as much as possible. I know that you're a perfectionist linguist, that you want to dig into your grammar in the beginning, maybe more so. And maybe it depends on the person as well. But what I've seen based on research is that in the beginning, just to feel these first success states of, I can put together these sentences, and I can say this about myself and so forth, I would be so discouraged if I would just go into the rabbit hole of conjugation, for example. But I remember in university, I went to study languages and linguistics as well, and the first thing in the Spanish class was just a pile of verbs and conjugations just smashed on my table, and I remember feeling discouraged about that. Like, how the hell I'm going to remember all of these things?
And always going back to the back of the book to check the conjugation table, and going back to the beginning and doing the exercises.
For sure. So how do you view that?
I like you said, I am a very much like grammar oriented person, but I am not. I know I'm crazy about that. So let's just not talk about me. When I teach or when I talk to other learners, I do, and I say what you just said. It is not important to know every single conjugation for every single verb at the very beginning. You need to know how to say simple things quickly and correctly, and that's it. Whether you do it with this conjugation or that, people will understand you, because what many people don't even realize is that grammar, of course, yes, needs to be, you need to use the correct grammar, but if you don't, and you just make a mistake, like a grammatical mistake, but you use a verb that you wanted to use, so you emphasize, like you focus on vocabulary more, then people will understand that you wanted to use the verb play, and whether you said play yesterday or plays yesterday or played yesterday, they will understand that you talked about yesterday and playing, and they will get you, and then you'll be able to see that they understood you, and you'll be proud of yourself. But then you can start building on your grammar skills more and more as you go, but at the very beginning, like, you don't need that. You don't need that. Leave that to me, I'll do that. But
for sure, exactly. And it's a nice testament to that people usually want to be perfect like that. But I can say that my French skills are pretty high. I've translated literally like novels from French.
Really?
And when I speak to a Parisian, they will literally switch to English, like literally, because they will have this little nuance of no, he's not from Paris, right? Or he's not from France. Otherwise, this would be a little bit and this shows this shows that how perfect you have to be to sound immaculate, right? It doesn't even happen to be on a C1-2 level, which is like the highest level that a foreigner can achieve, basically. and then having these situations where somebody's switching language on you and being like, why did you do that, right? So it happens even on this level. So why be afraid of misusing conjugations or misusing declensions? That's the crazy thing. Estonians
Yeah.
Estonians are so crazy about their language, and they're always saying that, from one hand, Estonians are saying here that why don't more people who live in Estonia speak Estonian? And then on the other hand, we're so proud that it's one of the most difficult languages to learn. Ooh, we're so proud of it. You can't even we have this head-to-head competition going on with the Finnish and maybe Polish and Lithuanian. Like all those four are just head-to-head race of who is more difficult to learn. And it has 14 declensions, and Finnish language has 15 declensions. So just using them wrong, what the hell happens? Nothing happens. Everybody understands. And it's so kind of liberating to think that